Said, my name is Nate Roach. I am the young adult pastor here at Wellspring, and I have the opportunity to kick us off here in the book of Proverbs as we journey through it together in the month of July. I'm going to start with a story. So it is August of 2012. I'm a 18-year-old kid on his way to Oklahoma Baptist University in Shawnee, Oklahoma. I was homeschooled, so this was my first, this is real life now. This is the opportunity to have friends and that aren't my sisters. This is the opportunity to get some deep friendships. I remember making that drive with my family. I was really scared, really unsure of what the future might hold. And I just remember praying, okay, Lord, let's start off strong. Give me a roommate that I can connect with, that will get close, and he'll be one of my best friends. So I just remember praying that for the 2.5-hour drive to Shawnee. And so I was like, okay, someone that's similar to me. I walk into my room in the freshman dorm, and I knock on the door. This guy opens it. Now, I'm 6'1", and I'm probably around 90 pounds. And this guy is 6'3", about 275 pounds of pure muscle. I mean, his muscles had muscles. This guy's huge. And I came to find out he was a defensive lineman on the football team. And so I was like, okay, we can work with this. And then he said, this is within our first conversation, he's like, okay, my parents leave the room, and it's just me and this guy. And he says, all right, we're going to sit down, we're going to just lay some ground rules for how this is going to work. So I'm sitting on my bed, and he's sitting on his, we're facing each other, and I'm scared. Again, this guy's 4 times my size. And he just says, all right, here are the rules. I was like, I'm listening. I was so nervous, I said, you want my bed too? You can have both our beds. I'll sleep on the floor. I was scared. And this guy sits down, and he says, there's just a few things you need to know about me. I was like, okay, just get him over with. He says, I have 7 different types of deodorant, 1 for each day of the week. And so I was like, okay, not what I was expecting. Cool, I can work with that. And then he said, I change entire outfits, not just like my shirt, but shirt to shoes 4 times a day. And I was like, okay, this is weird. This is really weird. And then there were a couple other rules. Well, needless to say, didn't really get along so great. He was not the friend that I was hoping for. So that first week at OBU, I'm praying more. I'm going to say, okay, Lord, I want friends that grow me, that make me more like Christ. Just provide these friends for me. And the funny thing is, I thought that if I prayed that prayer, that freed me up from having to actually give any effort. And so the first night I prayed, Lord, give me some good friends here. And I sat on my bed and watched SportsCenter for 5 hours, and just in my room. And weirdly enough, I didn't find any friends. And so this went on for a couple days, and then the first week I was there, I met a guy by the name of Michael Wilson. Really great guy, him and his roommate, Connor. And they could tell that I didn't have friends. And they invited me up to their room to just watch TV and play some video games. I didn't know at the time, but meeting them led to meeting about 12 of my, to this day, best friends and guys I consider brothers. And it was so bad. I wanted to be with them so bad. They were on the 4th floor. My weird roommate was on the 1st floor. I would sleep on their floor, the literal floor, so that I could spend more time with them because I hated my roommate so much. About 6 weeks later, he moved me out in the middle of the night. True story. And yeah, that was the end of that friendship. But these guys that I met that first week of school truly became some of my best friends. What we're going to talk about this morning as we start looking through the book of Proverbs is we're going to see this, that God desires for us to have deep, life-giving friendships that reflect Jesus. That's the desire he has for every single one of us. We weren't designed to be alone. Adam wasn't suitable to be alone, even though it was still in a perfect state. The world was still perfect, and yet God provided a companion for him. But at the same time, we also are designed for friendships, and God desires us to have them. So as Dave and Chris said, today begins our sermon series in the book of Proverbs. We're going to be looking at topics such as friendship, the plans that we make, the words that we say, our families, and what it means to fear the Lord. So I'm really excited about this sermon series together. So I encourage you to open up your Bible and follow along. We're going to be jumping around a lot in the book of Proverbs. Book of Proverbs is pretty easy to find. Just open up in the middle. You'll most likely end up in Psalms. Go one book over, and you're going to be in the book of Proverbs. So, save your spot. We're going to start in Proverbs 18, verse 24. And so, save your spot there. Before we dive in, though, I want to give a little bit of background into the book of Proverbs. So the book of Proverbs is a little difficult to teach in that there's not really a story as we see in most of the Old Testament books and some of the New Testament books. It's really a conglomeration, a compilation of different words of wisdom. And so there's no characters, there's sometimes wisdom is personified in this book. It's kind of hard to follow along at times. And so the book of Proverbs was compiled by a man by the name of Solomon, not Samson. We've been teaching the book of Judges in our college group, so slip of the tongue. But Solomon wrote most of the book of Proverbs and compiled the rest. Solomon was known for his wisdom. In 1 Kings chapter 4, it actually tells us that dignitaries from other nations in his day would come to Solomon's temple to hear his words of wisdom. And so he was a really wise dude. He's not the only person that wrote the Proverbs, though. In the latter half, last few chapters, in chapters 30 and 31, we have sayings from guys like, forgive me if I pronounce this wrong, Gur and Lemuel. Now, I have lots of friends that have named their kids biblical names. I'm not seeing those used very often. I wonder why. So, it's a compilation of these words of wisdom. What's really important, what I want us to understand before we go into this today, is to talk about what it means to have friendships that honor God and find friendships that grow us closer to Christ, is that the Proverbs we look at today are not mathematical equations. It's not like it's not if then. If you act like this, then this is the blessing you receive. If you act like this, then this is the blessing you receive. That's not how the Proverbs work. They're not mathematical equations, but they are definitely rules, and they're good guidelines for us to follow. So, let's take a look at what this book of godly wisdom says about our friendship. So, if you are at Proverbs 18:24, you can go ahead and read along with me. It says this: a man of many companions may come to ruin, but there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother. Now, in some way or another, we probably all relate to this verse. The reason being is most of us are probably on social media. If you're on Facebook like me, you probably have 1,000 or so friends that could be considered companions, but they're not necessarily friends. If I have a birthday party, I'm not inviting all 1,000 people on Facebook. Also, this is for free this morning. This is my way of wisdom. If you're looking to lower your friend count on Facebook, what I do is I check and see via notification whose birthday it is. If I haven't talked to them in 5 years and they're not family, I delete them. Happy birthday, no longer my friend. So if you want to lower your friend count, that's a good way to do it. That was the proverb of Nathan this morning. Let's get to the actual replies, guys, here. So I have all these friends on Facebook, yet despite all of these online companions, I can still find myself coming to ruin. I can still find myself straying from the Lord, straying from His path for my life, with these friends on Facebook not being able to do a thing. If my friends on Facebook are the extent of my Christ-centered relationships, then I'm going to have issues. So if you're like me, you probably want a friend like this friend who sticks closer than a brother. You want somebody that is there for you. And so we're going to look today at how we can be that type of friend to others, and how we can look for that type of friend in others. So today we're going to start by looking through the book of Proverbs, because the book of Proverbs gives us a portrait of a true friend. We're going to talk about 3 things that are just a few of the characteristics of a true friend. The first one is that a true friend is consistent. So look with me at Proverbs 17, verse 17. It says this: a friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for adversity. Now, if we're honest with ourselves, we've probably been this inconsistent friend. And I know that we probably all have stories from our past of friends that were inconsistent towards us. It's natural for me, I'm going to confess, it's natural for me when things get hard with a friend to just start to back off a little, and maybe not spend as much time, maybe not share our hearts, and maybe not talk as much. But the book of Proverbs tells us that a true friend is the one that is consistent. This reminds me of the story of the prodigal son that Jesus tells in the Gospel. The story of the prodigal son is the son of a man takes his father's wealth and goes off to a distant land and squanders it on all kinds of wicked living, surrounded by friends. Yet, when he runs out of money, all of his friends magically disappear, and he finds himself eating out of a pig's trough. And then he ends up going back to his father, and it's a great story. But that is the inconsistent friend that, as long as they're buying me food, then I'm going to stick around. As long as they are making me feel better about myself, then I'm going to stick around. If tragedy hits their life, I don't know how to work with that. So it's easy when adversity hits for us to just start to distance ourselves. Maybe not intentionally, but subconsciously. A true friend is consistent. Now, in my life, some of these guys from Oklahoma Baptist that I'm still friends with today, they do this way better than I do. Now, one of my biggest vices is that I'm an out-of-sight, out-of-mind kind of person. So if you're living in Oklahoma, like most of my friends are, I'm not very good at staying in touch with you because you're not around. I want to be present, and I want to be around the people I'm around, but I'm really bad at staying consistent with these friends. Now, there are two of my best friends that are very good at this. TJ, he is one of my friends from OU, and he calls me every week. And most of the time it's just to rag on me and be annoying, but he's consistent in his communication. Another one of my friends, Garrett, is actually overseas right now serving with the Army, and he calls me. And so I found at OU these friends that are consistent, and my prayer for each of you is that you find those friends as well. That when tragedy hits your family, when sickness comes, when financial difficulties come, that you have friends that are consistent, that they stick with you. So, you see in the book of Proverbs this portrait of a true friend, and a true friend is consistent. Not only is a true friend consistent, they are also candid. Look with me in Proverbs 27, verse 6. It says this: "Faithful are the wounds of a friend, profuse are the kisses of the enemy." Now, of the three characteristics we're going to talk about this morning of a true friend, this one is honestly the hardest for me to find and to be. I'm the type of person that I'm not really looking for confrontation or complication in my friendships. So if there's something going on where somebody I feel has sinned against me, or somebody that I feel is straying from the Lord's call on their life, I'm probably not going to say anything about it, because I don't want to bring complication to our relationship, and I don't want to be confrontational. Yet here in the book of Proverbs, we see that that is the best type of friend. A true friend is candid with you, not only when they feel like you've committed a sin against them, but also when they know that you are stepping outside of Scripture. So for me, at Hope Youth, I lived in a house off campus my junior year with two brothers, one named Andrew and one named Timothy. Now, one of them was really good at this practice, and the other was not. I'm a very messy person, and I know that. I'm working on it. I'd like to get married someday. But I'm a very messy person, and I would leave my dishes just in the kitchen, or in my bedroom, or in the living room, or in the bathroom, or wherever I was eating. I would just leave my stuff. And Andrew would never confront me about it. It just be really subtle, just passive-aggressive statements hey, why is there a pizza box on the couch that's empty? And just really subtle things. Timothy, however, was not like that. He would just come up to me and be either you clean up your stuff or find somewhere else to live. And so a true friend is candid in the small things like that, where it's just roommate disagreements, but also when you're straying. I want the type of friend that when I'm walking outside of God's call in my life, or I'm walking into sin, whether that's lust or anger or anxiety or fear, whatever it is that I'm straying into that's sinful and unhealthy, I want the type of friend that tells me that. We see here in the book of Proverbs that faithful are the wounds of a friend. When I'm looking for friends, I'm not okay, who can hurt me first? Who can wound me? Who's really good at wounding me? That's the friend I want. That doesn't come naturally to us. But we want friends in our lives. God desires us to be in relationships that reflect Him, that bring life. And life comes to fruition when you have those friends that are willing to call you out of the darkness and back into the light. And so my question for y'all this morning is, do you have a group of friends that are willing to wound you when necessary? Do you have a group of friends that are willing to wound you when necessary? That's hard. That's hard. If you don't have those type of friends, ask the Lord to provide them. And then the second question, are you willing to speak candidly to your friend? To your friends, as when you see them walking outside of the truth, when you see them walking outside of what the Lord has commanded each and every one of us, are you willing to be candid? So, portrait of a true friend. True friend is consistent, they are candid, and then lastly, they are considerate. So, look with me at Proverbs 26:20. It says this, whoever sings songs to a heavy heart is like one who takes off a garment on a cold day, and like vinegar on soda. So, I don't know about you, but I can't remember what a cold day feels like. This is my first summer here, and it is the worst. So, just imagine with me a really cold day. Oh, I want one of those. Imagine a really, really cold day, and you just like go up to your friend and you just like start taking off their coats, and you're like, you're gonna freeze. And they have soda, you're like just pouring vinegar in their soda. Now both of those might be good pranks, but they are not what a true friend should do. And that's the imagery that Solomon uses when it talks about singing songs of gladness when somebody's hurt. Now, being considerate means that we know the truth. We do. Here at Wellspring, we get into the Word of God, so the Word of God can get into us. We know what is true when it comes to the Lord, when it comes to our lives, when it comes to what the Word says. In James chapter 1, it says, consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds. However, that's not, when your friend is hurt, when your friend is struggling, you don't want to just waltz in there and just dump at them. Like, that's not being a considerate friend. In the book of Job, in the Old Testament, Job has a group of friends that were honestly pretty dumb in a lot of ways. And in the end of the book of Job, the Lord kind of humbles them. But at the beginning, they start off really strong. In Job chapter 2, verse 13, it says that when his friends first arrived, so Job lost all of his possessions, he lost all of his family, and he's alone. He has his wife, but that's it. Everything else is gone. And he falls to his knees in worship, which is a sermon for another day, that he suffered so greatly and still praised the Lord. But Job's friends come to him at the end of chapter 2, and the Bible says that when they first arrived, they sat with Job for 7 days and 7 nights without talking, because they saw how great his suffering was. They were considerate friends. They saw his suffering, they didn't say a word. They could have come in here saying, God is good, God is great, God is gracious. We know that to be true. And there will be a time when you begin to speak that to your friend that is hurting. But in the aftermath of pain, you don't go in there and just start spouting that out. That's like taking off a sweater when it's cold outside, or in our case, just putting on sweaters when it's 8 bajillion degrees outside. My family, my younger brother, in October of this past year, ran away from home and is still not with us right now. But when it first happened, my friends were not quick to say, consider this joy. Like, this is for your good. Your brother just ran away from home, and God has a plan for this. All of those things are true, and they should be said. But in the immediate aftermath of me getting a phone call where my brother is now gone, my friends just sat with me, where they just called me over the phone. And they just prayed for me and prayed with me, but they didn't come in here just saying, count it all joy, Nate, your brother's gone. And we're still praying for Trevor, and God has done a mighty work in our family through that. God has used that for my good and His glory. But that's not what I wanted to hear when I first got that phone call. So we see that a true friend is consistent, they are candid, they are considerate. Now, if you're like me, I tend to think I think logically, I've asked my friends, you might start boiling this down to like criteria that your friends have to meet when you're evaluating them. And being like, well, Victor's great, but I don't know if he's considerate. And you start looking at your friends, you are, Victor, hello. You start looking at your friends and start like, wait. Now again, when we started, the book of Proverbs is not mathematical equations. Grace plays into this. So, if you're like me, you're wondering how. So, we're going to look at the life of Jesus here for a few moments. We're going to look at his life. We're going to look at his ministry. So, hold your place in the book of Proverbs, and I'm going to jump into the Gospels. So, Jesus was called a friend of sinners. And we're going to kind of unpack that and unpack how beautiful the gospel really is. So, first we see in the Gospels that Jesus dined with sinners. So, if we're 21st century followers of Christ. We are 2,000 years removed from this culture. Because of that, I sometimes forget how impactful of a statement that truly is. Jesus dined with sinners. Jesus ate with sinners. And I'm not talking about just like gossips and liars and swindlers, although we will unpack that a little bit later. Jesus surrounded himself many times with the most ill-refuted people of his day, the most marginalized and outcast. He dined with tax collectors who at that time were hated by people because they stole from their own people. And he dined with prostitutes. That is true. That is in the Gospels. It's hard for me to wrap my mind around what that means. In that day, dining with others, it was essentially assimilating yourself with them, associating yourself with them. You were stating that we are of one accord. We are together. And that's all throughout Scripture. The book of Genesis, it says in the story of Joseph that the Egyptians wouldn't eat with the Hebrews. They ate at separate times so as not to associate with each other. And yet Jesus comes onto the scene and he immediately starts associating himself with the tax collectors and prostitutes. This is good news for us. In Matthew chapter 9, verses 10 through 11, it says, "And as Jesus reclined at table in the house, behold, many tax collectors and sinners, prostitutes, came and were reclining with Jesus and his disciples. And when the Pharisees saw this, they said to his disciples, 'Why does your teacher eat with tax collectors and sinners?'" Later on in chapter 11, Jesus himself speaks about some of the accusations that he had been under. He says that he was accused of being a friend of sinners, and he didn't refute that. He said he was accused of being a glutton and a drunkard because of the company that he kept. And he didn't refute that either. This is the good news of the gospel. You and I, apart from Christ, we are those sinners. We are the outcasts. We are the marginalized. Apart from Christ, we don't see God. Yet the gospel says that Christ came to be a friend of sinners, to dine with sinners, associate with them. But it doesn't stop there, no. The gospel gets so much greater. Not only did Jesus dine with sinners, he died for sinners. John 15:13 is probably a pretty familiar verse for many of us. It says this, "Greater love has no one than this, that someone laid down his life for his friends." I'm speaking on Proverbs, how do you not miss that verse? It's like the verse when it comes to friendship. Jesus says this to his disciples towards the end of his ministry. Fast forward a little bit in the gospel story, and Jesus does give up his life for his friends. He gives up his life for his disciples, these men that he has walked with for 3 years. He dies for them. Yet not only that, the gospel is even bigger than that. It says in Romans 5 this, "For while we were still weak, at the right time Christ died for the ungodly. For one will scarcely die for a righteous person, though perhaps for a good person one would dare even to die. But God shows his love for us in that while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. Since therefore we have now been justified by his blood, much more shall we be saved by him from the wrath of God. For while we were enemies, we were reconciled to God by the death of his Son. Much more now that we are reconciled, shall we be saved by his life." The gospel is not simply that Jesus died for his friends. No, it's Jesus died for his enemies. Jesus died for all. Jesus died for you and for me at our lowest point, when we couldn't be any further away from God. Jesus, looking ahead, knows my state today, on July 2nd. He knows the sin that I struggle with, and he died for me. The gospel is powerful. The gospel is not just that he died for his friends and the people that he was closest to that were a true friend to him. No, Jesus died for every single one of us when sometimes we're the complete opposite of being a true friend for him. This is beautiful. This is the part of the gospel that starts drawing my heart to worship. Let that sink in. Jesus died for you. He died for your bad, your ugly, your depravity. Jesus died for you. Greater love is no one than this, that someone laid down his life for his friends, yes, and his enemies, and for all. That's the message of the gospel. This is the greatest show of love. Whenever I start to doubt God's love for me, I look back to the cross. I look at what Jesus did for me. Jesus sacrificed himself for us. Because of that, all of our sin can be forgiven. So Jesus steps onto the scene, is called a friend of sinners, and he dines with sinners, he died for sinners. And because of that, the gospel even gets greater. It says that we can have friendship with God. In 1 John 1:3, John says this, "That which we have seen and heard we proclaim to you, so that you too may have fellowship with us. And indeed, our fellowship is with the Father and with the Son, Jesus Christ." Yes, it's true. God desires for us to have life-giving friendships. Friendships that bring life to our bones. Yet, the gospel just blows my mind because one of those friendships can be with the Lord. That is what the gospel has done for us. Now, I start to err on the side of caution here because Jesus isn't your buddy. So I don't want us to become irreverent or flippant in how we communicate with him or how we worship him. Because he's still deserving of our praise. He's still deserving of our worship. But it is true. You can have a relationship with God, a relationship with Jesus that is a friendship. You can have friendship with God. This is what the gospel means for us. Now, normally Christian cliches bother me, but this one couldn't be more true. It truly is a relationship. It's not about religion. It's not about what I can do for God. It's about what God has done for me. So Jesus was a friend of sinners. He dined with sinners. He died for sinners. That's us. And because of his sacrificial death, we can have friendship with God. Now, where do we go from here? So we've seen what it looks like to be a true friend for those around us. We've seen how Jesus was a friend of sinners. We've seen the power of the gospel, the message of the gospel, and how that impacts our lives today. But as we talk about those characteristics at the beginning, consistent, candid, and considerate, those aren't explicitly Christ-like. You can have a non-Christian that's considerate, that is candid, that is consistent. We're gonna kind of transition here at the end. We're gonna talk about how to be a friend that truly reflects Jesus. Now, like I said, God desires us for us to be in deep friendships that give life, but also reflect him. So we're going to look at 3 characteristics of a Christ-like friend as we close. First off, a Christ-like friend forgives. If you held your place in the book of Proverbs, look with me at Proverbs 17, verse 14. It says this, "The beginning of strife is like letting out water, so quit before the quarrel breaks out." The beginning of strife is like letting out water, so quit before the quarrel breaks out. This particular proverb is in reference to a dam. So if there's little holes in the dam, water's going to start coming through, and it's going to cause bigger cracks, and the dam's going to burst, and there's just going to be destruction in its wake. Here in this proverb, we are cautioned to forgive, or encouraged to forgive, and cautioned against letting bitterness in our hearts. Hebrews 12:15 says it like this, "Strive for peace with everyone, and for the holiness without which no one will see the Lord. See to it that no one fails to obtain the grace of God, that no root of bitterness springs up and causes trouble, and by it many become defiled." It's true. When you don't forgive, when you harbor bitterness in your heart, it can cause destruction. Again, these proverbs are not mathematical equations, so this isn't a promise necessarily, but I've seen it in my life. When I have chosen not to forgive people in my life, when I have chosen to let things slide because I'm not confrontational, it starts to drive a wedge in that relationship. Soon enough, a root of bitterness springs up that makes me start to read into everything. A text, an email, a phone call, a word said. Bitterness can drive a wedge and cause trouble in our relationships. We are called by God to strive for peace with everyone. As followers of Christ, we have a living and breathing enemy in Satan. He wants nothing more than to see our friendships destroyed. He wants nothing more than to see strife and quarrel happen in this room, in this community. One way to prevent that is to be a person who forgives. So, a Christ-like friend who forgives. Not only that, a Christ-like friend who confesses. Proverbs 28:13 says this, "Whoever conceals his transgressions will not prosper, but he who confesses and forsakes them will obtain mercy." We live in a culture, even a Christian culture, where we are encouraged not to share our weaknesses. We are encouraged to be strong, independent, great, and at times we're expected to be perfect. So when it comes time to share prayer requests at our small group, don't share your weaknesses. Don't share the sins you're struggling. Don't share the doubts you're having, because you've got to be strong. The man or woman who does not confess their sins to their brother or sister, they're not going to prosper in their relationships. Those relationships aren't going to thrive the way that God has designed them to thrive. He wants us to have friendships that bring life. And if there is no confession, mutual confession in our friendships, then life won't be happy. Satan wants us to keep our sins in the dark, because that's where they can fester, and that's where they can cause pain and damage. Confession brings those sins into the light, and when we confess, you will obtain mercy. See, sometimes I don't experience the forgiveness that the gospel promises because I'm harboring sin and I'm not confessing. Brothers and sisters in Christ, let us become a church family known for its forgiveness and confession. Let us practice confession in our relationships, in our friendships, in our small groups. I'm not saying you have to start every small group by going around the circle and listing, here's all the ways I've sinned this week. But if you are struggling with sin, confess it. Confess it to your friend. If you are sinning against your friend, more so, confess it. So a Christ-like friend forgives and confesses. Lastly, a Christ-like friend has conversations face to face. Proverbs 16:28 says this, "A dishonest man spreads strife, and a whisperer separates close friends." Now we tend to rate sins on a scale. One of the sins, there are certain sins that we make respectable and excusable. One of those sins is gossip, but it's dangerous. I confess that this particular sin is hard for me to fight against sometimes. It's hard not to whisper without thinking through the implications of such behavior. It knows the dangers of gossip and the way it destroys a friendship. A Christ-like friend has conversations with the person that they have some bitterness towards face to face. Proverbs 29 puts it this way, "Argue your case with your neighbor himself and do not reveal another secret." See, we're prone to, when there's conflict with one of our friends, we go tell every other friend in our friend group about that conflict. It just comes naturally to us. But gossip is dangerous. A Christ-like friend does not go about whispering in private about someone who is not there. Again, the enemy of our souls wants to destroy our Christian community. One way he loves to do that is through the respectable sin of gossip. Gossip is not honoring to Jesus, and it does not reflect Jesus. Plain and simple. My prayer is that we will learn to watch our tongues and honor the Lord in our private conversations. So a Christ-like friend is one that forgives, confesses, and has face-to-face conversations. My prayer is that we will all strive to saturate our lives and friendships with these practices. I hope you've enjoyed our look this morning at what the book of Proverbs says about friendships. Again, my hope is that I don't want this to be a morality lesson. I don't want your application piece to be leaving here and be better. No, I want us to be awed by the gospel. That the fact that Jesus, who is God, came to be my friend and yours. And I pray that that does impact our friendships. I pray that we do strive to be a true friend who is consistent, who is candid and considerate. I do pray that we can reflect Christ in our friendships by forgiving, confessing, and having conversations face to face. I pray that our hearts are stirred and that we yearn with all of our hearts to be men and women who are wise, who reflect Christ in our relationships. This stuff isn't easy, but it's worth it. There were plenty of times during my OU career where being this wasn't easy. But God desires for us to have deep, life-giving friendships that reflect Him. That's the reality. Now, I've graduated, and so have all my friends. We're all across the country and all across the globe. But I'm so thankful for these friends that do reflect Christ to me, that do bring life to me. And I've met several here that do the same thing. My prayer for each of us is that we would have those type of friends. If you are a follower of Christ, you are being called by God to be a friend that you need. If you've struggled to be a Christ-like friend, if you're like me, and as I was studying this, and you're like, oof, I don't do that. If you have struggles, come to the cross, accept grace. If you've never accepted the sacrifice of Christ, and you've never had a relationship with God, if you've never walked with Jesus as you would a friend, come. At the conclusion of our service, we'll have people at both of these tables that would love to talk to you about that. Jesus came to be a friend of sinners, to die a sacrificial death for sinners, and to invite us into intimacy with God. God desires for you and me to have deep friendships that bring life, that give life, and that reflect Him. Pray. Lord, thank you so much for this day. Thank you for what this ancient wisdom says to us. Lord, I pray that we would seek to be true friends that are consistent, that are candid, and that are considerate. Lord, I pray that we would be amazed by the gospel. I pray that the gospel would draw us to worship as we sing together and as we leave this place, as we remember that Jesus died for sinners, He associated with sinners, that He died for sinners, you and me, and that because of that sacrificial death, we can have friendship with God. Lord, I thank you for the message of the gospel. Lord, if there's anyone here that doesn't have a relationship with the Lord, that hasn't accepted that sacrificial death of your Son, I pray that they would do so this morning. I pray that they would come and speak to one of us this morning. As we go, Lord, I pray that you would help us to be Christ-like in our friendships. Lord, I pray that you would help us to forgive, to confess, and have conversations face to face. And I pray all of these things in your name.